Here's the thing that I want to share with you today. What is really going on, and most importantly, how do you overcome it? Because most people don't have a strategy problem when it comes to social media. They have a showing up problem. Hey there, and welcome to the Direct Selling Accelerator Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Hind, and today I want to talk about why most people don't show up on social media and what's actually really holding you back. And I almost guarantee it's not what you think. In all of my years of working with people in small businesses, in direct selling, network marketing, party plan, MLM, you name it, I have seen and heard everything. And there is nothing that could surprise me. Yet I still have people coming to me every day saying to me, I'm not tech savvy. I don't have what it takes. I've tried all the strategies and they don't work. And I want to share with you what's really being said and what people are saying between the lines, because I almost guarantee that what you're telling me is going wrong for you right now is actually not the problem. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I talk about it a lot in my book, Show Up Anyway. It was essentially the reason I wrote this book. It's in the title. But here's the thing that I want to share with you today. What is really going on, and most importantly, how do you overcome it? Because most people don't have a strategy problem when it comes to social media. They have a showing up problem. Okay, so let's face it. Most people who are listening to this podcast, most, are going to be somewhere around my age or older, and therefore somebody who, like me, did not grow up with technology. You might remember what high school was like, but I know certainly for me, when I was growing up, computers were something that came in during my schooling years and did not become a staple of learning until I was in late years of my high schooling. Yes, I am that old. But what I got taught when I was in high school was in my last 2 years, in year 11 and 12, they taught us the basics, how to set up a Hotmail email address and how to use Microsoft Word and the basics of Excel. That was it. Fast forward to today, and I'm teaching social media. I'm teaching digital marketing. How does that all happen? Well, I want to just share what's going on for most people who are in that age bracket and who are nodding right now and totally get that upbringing. You understand because you were there. You were in a time when computers, technology, social media was almost, if not non-existent for your educating years. Well, here's the thing that you've got to keep in mind. It goes without saying that the world we live in right now would feel overwhelming to you. It certainly feels overwhelming to me, and here I am teaching it, running a business in this space. So I get it. But I also want to share something with you that you may not have considered. While our kids now, and I'm looking at my children who are literally growing up with computers, tablets, even mobile phones at their fingertips almost from birth, whether we like it or not, it's a very different world. But they're growing up with it. We, however, didn't. So I want to throw something out there that, like I said, you might not have considered yet. And that is the fact that you are almost, if not 100%, completely self-taught. Think about what that really means. That actually takes a whole lot more skill. It's not something that you learned in your early years when you were absorbing all this information and at your best learning age. It's not something that you grew up with and became second nature. It's something that you taught yourself out of necessity. Let's think about it. You might be going, well, I don't know it very well, Sam. Yes, you do. Have you got a mobile phone literally at your fingertips right now? You might be watching or listening to this on your mobile phone. You probably are. How did you learn to use it? Did you go to a school and get lessons on how to use this incredible piece of technology? And let's put this out there. This mobile phone that might be sitting in your hands right now is thousands of times more powerful and more capable than those first computers that we were introduced to when we were in our early teens, late teens, early adulthood, whenever that was for you. So the second thing I want you to consider is this. Every day we're jumping onto Zooms, we're having meetings, we're doing webinars, we're using computers as a part of our everyday. How did you learn to use all of that? Most of it you taught yourself. So I want you to first just start off by giving yourself a great big pat on the back, because technology is not your problem right now. Let's talk about what is your issue. So if you're feeling like social media is a strain and a struggle, I almost guarantee you it's not the reason you think it is. So let's talk about what's going on. It's not lack of time. It's not lack of knowledge. It's not lack of tools. For most people, it's a fear of, number one, judgment. It's a fear of comparison. It's a self-confidence issue. You might be thinking to yourself right now, I don't want to show up and share my journey. I don't want to share about what I'm passionate about because no one cares about that. Or maybe you're thinking that people are not buying you, they're not connecting with you. You need to be more like the leader that recruited you and inspired you, or more like the founder of the company, or more you need to lead with the product or the business opportunity because that's far more powerful than you'll ever be. I want you to take a step back for a minute and remember this. People are not buying the product. They're not buying the business. They're not buying the service or the opportunity. They're buying you. And until you understand your own self-worth and you have some self-belief and you can build on that self-confidence, I want you to know this. I believe in you, but also people are going to buy what you have because they want to do what you do. You are the secret sauce. And for most people that I start teaching, that's the very ingredient we need to teach them to insert. Now, if you want to know how you overcome this, the first thing is step before you're ready. That's why I wrote my book, Show Up Anyway. It's all about stepping. It's all about taking the chance and just trusting. Let me put this out there for a moment. We run challenges literally every single month on social media for lots of different direct selling companies around the world. We also run challenges for public. And so we will have thousands of people participate in these from companies all around the world who want to learn how to grow social media. Here's the thing that we see happen every single time. The many people will begin posting during those challenges about their own journey, their own passions, their own interests and excitement because we're telling them to do it, not because it's something they feel comfortable doing. During that 7, 10, or 14 days, depending on how long that challenge is for at that time, we will see dozens, if not hundreds, and sometimes thousands of people sharing testimonials of how they were getting absolutely no interaction, no results, no sales, no leads on social media. And the moment they started sharing themselves, people started coming forward. People started relating to them and saying, oh my gosh, me too. Or I'd love to know more about that. Or just commenting on their posts and what they're sharing, because people are showing up on social media because they care about connecting with you, not because they want to be sold to. So we need to do less selling and more showing up. And so the first thing is lack of self-confidence. That's number one. The antidote is really simple. Step before you're ready. If you wait till you're ready, it will never happen. You will become ready as you step. You will grow confidence as you start to have a go. That doesn't just happen overnight. It's a slow thing that builds. And I can tell you right now, I've been there, I've done it. In every part of my business, everything that I ever do, I step before I'm ready. I stepped before I'm ready, before I was ready the first time I got on stage. I'll tell you a secret. I feel like that almost every time I get on stage. I step before I'm ready every time I hit go on a podcast interview or run a webinar. I step before I'm ready when I write my first book, Show Up Anyway, and yet it became an international bestseller within its first week. But if I'd waited till I was ready, that book never would have happened. This business would not exist, and I would not have the opportunity of connecting with, inspiring, and working with hundreds of thousands of people just like you every day. And I'm so blessed I get to do it. But I get to do this because I stepped before I was ready. And I want to encourage you. There are people out there right now waiting to hear from you, waiting to see you show up. But you need to step before you're ready so they can have the courage to know that it will be okay as well. And they can also step, whether it's into the business that you offer them, whether it's into the products for the very first time that might change their life or impact them and their family, whatever that might look like. You need to step before you're ready because someone else is waiting for you to do it. It could even just be your kids watching you right now, wanting that inspiration to know what mum or dad does and know that it's okay if they also step before they're ready, because self-confidence will follow. So that's number one. Let's jump to number two. And the number two reason why most people show up on social media is actually something that I think when I say this, you're going to nod and go, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But before I started talking about this the very first time, I know a lot of people it really hadn't occurred to, and that is decision fatigue. Let's just think about this realistically for a second. We live busy lives. If you're like me, and I know you probably are, you've got family, you're running business, you've got hobbies, you've got responsibilities, you've got relationship, you've got a home to keep, you've got things going on around you all of the time. And every day, from the moment you step out of that bed in the morning, you are beginning to make decisions. Decisions, big or small, are decisions all the same. And we get through our day. And have you ever noticed that you get towards the end of the day and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even make a decision on what to cook for dinner tonight or what pajamas to put on to go to bed? And that is actually a real thing. It's called decision fatigue. And it happens because we're making so many decisions every day. If you listen to what some absolute powerhouses out there, Mark Zuckerberg is one of these. I know there's a few people out there like this, and off the top of my head, I can't think of the names of the people, but I've heard lots of, particularly men. I don't think you'll hear many women saying that they do this, but men who can do this say that they actually reduce decision fatigue deliberately in advance so that they can save that decision making for really important things that are going to move the needle in the world. And so, for example, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same outfit every single day. So he doesn't have to get up in the morning and make a decision about what to wear. He just automatically puts the same thing on. He owns dozens of the same shirt, dozens of the same pants, same shoes, and he literally puts the same outfit on because he's saying he doesn't want to use important decisions and that he only gets so many of per day on what to wear. Now, I know that that's harder for women. I can tell you a little tool here, by the way, that really isn't social media related. But if you are wondering, how do I do a Mark Zuckerberg with my clothes when I'm a woman and we wear different things every day? I do tend to lay my clothes out the night before or even on the weekend. For the week in advance, I'll lay out 5 or 6 outfits so that I'm reducing the amount of decisions I have to make when I get up in the morning. Same thing with cooking, meals, all that sort of stuff. But let's talk about social media for a moment and why decision fatigue is a big deal. When it comes to creating your content on social media, one of the struggles a lot of people have is, what will I post next? You've probably asked yourself that question. Now, that question is not a lack of ideas. You've got loads of ideas. The question is a problem because you've got a lack of the ability to make the decision on what to post next. And it comes to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is perfectionism. Lots of you are perfectionists at heart. I get it. I am also a recovering perfectionist. The problem is that perfection on social media does not work. It is the worst possible strategy you could have in place. And if you are trying to get it right, you are automatically getting it wrong. So throw perfection out the window to start with. But let's talk about decision fatigue. Deciding what to post next is actually a really challenging thing. It's why inside of our memberships, I hand people content every week. And all you have to do is make it yours. You just adjust the words. But okay, if you're not in my membership and you don't have Sam handing you content every week, what do you do? Okay, the first thing is do what I do with my clothing in advance. When you have prepared the time, you've put it in your calendar, this is why it is so important to have social media creation time every week. Do not post on the fly. If you do that, number one, you will be throwing spaghetti at the wall and waiting to see what sticks because you are not going to be strategic. You are not going to have the right energy in the moment all of the time. There will be times that you have decision fatigue and you either do nothing or you do really random things, and neither of those is going to work. So my suggestion would be sit down once a week for 1 to 2 hours, block it out in your calendar like an appointment with yourself, and sit down and go, what are my 7 posting strategies this week? Or what are my 5? Or what are my 3? Whatever your cadence is, what am I going to be doing? And then pre-create those pieces of content ahead of time. When I do a reel or I do a talking head video of any sort, or I create any piece of content, I always create 2 or 3 and never just do 1. Because if I'm in that space, I'm in that creative, inspired space, ready to roll, Content does not need to take a long time. It does not need to be overthought or perfect, but we want to be doing it ahead so that we've got quality content ready to roll when we need it. So, decision fatigue is a really big deal. Simplify things. And let's just think about, the last point I want to say here is the last reason people don't post or they don't show up is because they overthink things. So let's just talk about that for a little moment, because I want to give you some really quick, easy ways that you can simplify this whole process. Why on earth, when we show up on social media, do we think to ourselves, I have to get it right? You overthink what you write, you overthink the image, you overthink the editing, you overthink the timing. Would you do that if you're picking the phone up to ring a friend, to go for lunch with somebody, have a coffee, or just chat with somebody at a dinner party or a barbecue? You wouldn't. You would just be you. And social media should be no different, because at the other end of that mobile phone or that computer screen or that tablet or device is a human being, and you already know how to connect with humans. So my question to you is, how do you simplify it and just be you with the technology, which can feel a little overwhelming? It's easy. Just simplify it. Stop overcomplicating it. The KISS method. Keep it simple, sweetheart. And so I want to give you 3 really quick strategies that you can use today that are going to overcome all of these things. It'll overcome the fear of judgment, the fear of comparison. It'll overcome the overthinking, the perfectionism, and the decision fatigue, because right now I'm just going to hand you 3 strategies that work right now. You ready? All right, let's go. The first one is this. It's a posting strategy that is going to help you do several things. It will help you get seen by the algorithm because it's favored, because it starts conversation. It's going to help you start meaningful conversations that will lead to relationships that convert to business. And it helps you learn about your audience, which helps you create more content moving forward because you know what gets their attention. That strategy is an engagement post, and it is as easy as this. Ask a question. Now, most people don't do this, and they don't do it well because they're busy selling, they're busy promoting, they're busy telling people what they want them to hear in order to get them to do what they want them to do. But let's face it, social media has got social in it for a reason, and the platforms are really pushing this social element right now. So why aren't we inviting interaction? So the next time you're wondering, what will I post next? Stop yourself in your tracks and throw a question out there. It could be a this or that. It could be a how do you? Think about the things that you do in your world. I just put a post up today that was a picture of all of my suitcases lined up, because everyone knows me knows that we are chronic overpackers and we carry a lot of suitcases when we travel. So I put a story up and I asked people for their packing tips, and I said, how do you pack? What are your tips? I do not want to overpack again this trip. So it could be super simple like that. You could ask people for their favorite book or podcast. I know a good one. You could ask people for their favorite Netflix series or movie. You could ask people how they prepare their, if it's, keep it relevant to the time of year as well. What's their secret or favorite dish that must be on the Christmas table every Christmas day? Do they have any tips around something in particular you're going through? Or you can ask, this is a good one. Get ready for this one. Ask people's opinion on something. And if you want it to be something relating to your business or your products, because you might be wondering right now, how does this sell what I do? Easy. Make it asking people's opinion around something in your industry, something trending. So, for example, we put this one out there to our members today in a training. We put up a trend and we came up with a whole lot of different trends for different industries. We came up with some weird trends. Weird's probably not the right word, but left of center trends that were happening right now in beauty, in skincare, in business, in family, in cooking, in decor. We came up with something for every industry. So whatever business they were with, they had an idea. And we created a post that simply said, I want everyone's opinion on this trend. What does everyone think? You don't need to weigh in. You can, but the whole idea here is get to know them. Another of my favorite engagement questions will help you identify some of the things that they value, which helps you start meaningful conversations and post more content they care about. And this is a simple finish this sentence style post. So something like, if I were to look in your handbag right now, what am I absolutely guaranteed to find? Or what's something you never leave the home without? Or here's another really fun one. Finish this sentence. Honey, I love you so much. I'm going to buy you another ... That'll tell you a lot about what they value, what they care about, but also start some really fun conversations as well. So that's strategy number one. Hopefully you've got a ton of ideas out of that to play with. The next one is a really simple way to be real and be relatable. And Facebook and Instagram in particular right now are really pushing this. They want real, they want human, they want relatable, they want user-generated posts, which means posts you create. Not something you share from corporate, not something that you put a stock image with, something where you share an image you take and a little piece of you. And so this strategy is an easy way to do this while also potentially seeding your product or your business along the way. And this is a how I. So this is where rather than telling people what you want them to hear about your product, you can share what you love. Rather than telling people why they need to be in the business, share how you, share what you do, share a little micro story, a little piece of your own journey. How I do this every day, how I show up in the mornings, how I use this product. And if you want to, you can even create a little piece of value in there as well. And that's where I'm going to give you my very last strategy, which is a really, again, simple, easy one, but this one is all about driving value. So we've talked about engaging and interacting, being real and relatable, and now we're going to talk about value. These are three very important strategies that should be in every social media recipe in some way, shape, or form. Value is the last one. And the idea I'm going to give you with this one is to simply share a cool idea or a way to. Let them be your post starters, a cool idea or a way to. So you might think about what are some cool ideas around the use of something in particular, or some little hacks or tips that people might not have considered. Think about things you do in your everyday. It does not have to be about your product or your business. Get outside that box and think about adding value to your audience. These are great conversation starters. It might also be absolutely about your product. It could be different ways to use. Or, of course, you can share strategies within your business as well. But a cool idea, a way to. So think about what's going to be of interest to my audience. And that's the key at the end of this. Don't overthink it. Think about the conversations you frequently have with family, with friends, if you meet someone new. They are going to tell you a lot about what your audience wants to hear because, let's face it, your dream customer is the same offline as it is online. So let's stop behaving differently on social media to how we would behave in real life. You don't need to be more tech savvy. You don't have a problem with your strategy. You don't have a problem with your technical ability. You simply have a showing up problem. So show up before you're ready. I hope that this has been helpful for you today. A couple of super quick tips for you. Just a little reminder, you've got what it takes. You have everything you need within you and around you right now to do this. The question is, how resourceful are you going to be? Step before you're ready. That's it from me today. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Make sure you share it with a friend that needs to hear this message. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again right here. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Direct Selling Accelerator Podcast. If you love listening and you found that this was helpful for your direct selling business, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out the recommended video that's popped up on your screen right here. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.